Hello, America and residents of Santa Cruz County. My name is Aaron Anderson, and I'm about to tell you of a story where everything really went tragically wrong this year. Well, I guess you could say even more wrong, but I was suffering from great PTSD and panic attacks from almost being robbed in Santa Monica the first day, stabbed saving a woman's life from this dude high on drugs, which I ended up having to mace him and chase him up the street with my gladiator sword, and just so he could get away from the general population and not hurt anybody else. I didn't hurt him. I just went back to make a police report and take care of my stab wound. And then I was almost severely injured by a mob of people who tried to beat me up after a misunderstanding in Huntington Beach. I just wanted a picture of myself with the rose. So anyway, after all that, I ended up stuck in an LA parking lot and trying to find a place to go. I suffered so much PTSD and anxiety. And I was living in my van at the time, my campaign van that I worked on petitions around America. Things we can vote on. And anyway, I worked for 3.5 weeks through my panic attacks and anxiety and not feeling safe to try to make it to somewhere, contacting friends all over the nation. But I just didn't have enough money to make it anywhere. So I finally, reached out to Carole Anderson. I found on my Facebook she had been my friend for many years. Always saw her postings, and she lived in Santa Cruz, which is a dear community to me. I've done a lot for Santa Cruz community, and I've met and talked with over 20,000 people in Ben Lomond and Felton and Soquel and Capitola and all over the place. And I've done a lot of work for Food Not Bombs, like just helping inspire people and uplift people's spirits with music, and done a couple of fundraisers for homeless like homeless people. There's a ton of homeless people in Santa Cruz. But anyway, so and I ended up calling another friend, and he was gracious enough to meet me in Orange County on the way up. Or I had to meet him, and he gave me $150, and I was really excited because it was basically just enough money to make it there. And I had contacted Carole Anderson earlier that day, and she told me a story of how she was back on rent 2 months and all this stuff. And I said, I don't care, I'll help you pay your rent no matter what, and we'll figure it out. And I just need to get off the streets and park somewhere safe and be somewhere. And I told her what happened, and she basically invited me up there. And after meeting my friend late, around 6 p.m. or so, I drove all the way up to Santa Cruz, and I told her I wasn't going to be there till about 3 a.m. or something. And I made it up there, and I parked in her driveway and slept. And I woke up in the morning, and my neck was, badly, hurting, and my back was going out. And so I basically was just trying to find comfort, and we ended up selling her turtle on Facebook Marketplace. And these people came over from Facebook Marketplace, and I thought it was a really cool thing. Or wait, it wasn't a turtle, it was a lobster. Anyway, that's just minor details. And I got their phone number actually, because they're really cool people. And I was just hanging out watching TV, trying to rest my back and my neck to try to move all my stuff in. And I told her I couldn't really do anything the first day because I'd been through so much. I just needed to hang out. And I ended up taking her to the grocery store. I offered to use my van to take her to the grocery store, and because her wheelchair, she had one leg, and her wheelchair fit better in my van than her little Honda Fit. And I took her to the beach, we hung out, and she smoked weed, and I ended up driving her back to her house. And then the next day we ran around to get her mental health medications at the pharmacy, go to the grocery store again, ran to a smoke shop to pick up some things for her smoking marijuana stuff. And we just ran a few errands. And then I ended up putting some of my stuff, which I was willing to sell on Facebook Marketplace specifically, so I could put a deposit on the rent. And she told me her rent was only $400, and it was subsidized. It was originally $2,000, but the government was paying most of it. And I said, no problem. I'm on Social Security disability myself, and I'll pay all your rent. All I need to do is sleep in my van in the driveway, just be off the public streets, and put my stuff in your closet. And and then that day she told me about her son, who she had pressed charges on. He supposedly violently attacked her, and she told me that he's extremely mentally ill and unstable, and he's probably going to prison. And they had a restraining order due to that incident, and she kept asking me to use my phones to call her son because she didn't want to look like she was violating a restraining order. And so I let her use my phones to call her son a few times. And then that was pretty much it. After I told her all the descriptions of the Facebook postings and how much they were worth. And she didn't trust me. She didn't think it was going to sell fast enough. She kept being paranoid that my rent is 2 months back pay. I'm going to get kicked out of here, and I have all this stuff, and I've lived here 20 years and all this stuff. And I was like, don't worry about it, and I'll be your servant. I'll water your plants. She has a ton of plants, and she needed stuff moved so she could do laundry, so I was helping with that. And I was starting to help clean her kitchen, and I said, I'll do whatever you need. I'm disabled. I'm available to help you. We'll figure out your back pay on your rent and everything, and I'll talk to your landlord. And my disability will be coming through in a couple of days, and I'll give you a certain amount of money, and everything's going to be good. I just kept reassuring her. And anyway, the next morning came, the third day, and I got up early because I was excited to move all my stuff in. And I got my chest set out because I wanted to show her how cool it was. And it's a Lord of the Rings chess set. It's valued somewhere near $5,000. It's very, very, very rare, like pewter covered in gold. And so anyway, I couldn't get that open. I was calling locksmith companies to try to figure out if they could put in the code or somehow crack it. And so anyway, she woke up and right away started basically yelling at me because she was trying to get to the bathroom to go to the bathroom, and her handicap shower seat was in front of the toilet, and she started yelling at me, I'm gonna piss on all your stuff. I was like, I just moved it within seconds, and she just kept going on and on about this stupid stuff. And it was extremely aggravating. And so I moved it, and then she kept complaining about the money, and I said, just wait for the stuff on Facebook, wait for my deposit to come through, and it's all going to be okay, And she's now, and this is a Sunday morning, and I actually had a gold ring on my finger, which I'll show you later, but it's 14 karat gold. And I said, I will go and pawn this gold ring on a Sunday, which is really crazy, but I would have to go all the way up to San Jose to do it. And, I just got it out of the pawn shop, and it's one of my most prized possessions. And I was like, if you'll just shut up, I'll go pawn the ring and I'll get you money today. and we can pay a month of your rent. And she's like, I don't think it's gold, and I don't trust you. And I said, I'll take you up to San Jose and you can meet my own old landlord, Troy Nelson. I lived there for over 2 years, always paid my rent on time. I mean, he's a great reference. I don't want to go over the hill with you. I don't want to, I don't trust you. And just insane. And then I said, well, fine, I'll go pawn it. And she's like, I'll give you like 5 hours to go do this. I'm like, what? You're demanding money and giving me a time frame to go pawn my ring on a Sunday. Nothing's happening. And so then she said, I'm going to give you 4 hours. And I was like, what the? And then I just started like freaking out because I was like, it's not about the money. I've tried to help you with everything here. I have disability coming in, and I was like, I'm just leaving. I'm getting out of here. And like she started blocking the walkway with her wheelchair, and I was panicking. I started yelling at her that she needed to move out of my way. I was freaking out, and I'd already been through so much. This was the last thing I needed. Oh, by the way, when she was saying she don't trust me, I also tried to show her my ID. She didn't even want to see my ID. She didn't even know who I was. But anyway, I was yelling at her to get her wheelchair out of the way, and she kept moving around, getting in my way. I was trying to run in and out real quick, and she was dragging my boxes out of the closet and throwing them. She got one of them out to the bushes and threw all the stuff out of it into the bush, and I had to get all the stuff out of the bush. And then I got my car out of her driveway in case the cops showed up, so I was at least off her property. I was right in the middle of the road, and her neighbors drove by and saw it all. I mean, this was going on for like 20 minutes of her blocking my exit and everything, and then trying to put my stuff all back in the boxes. And she started threatening that she was going to have her friends come and get me out of there, and make me scared and stuff like that. And then she all of a sudden like took off her shirt, revealed her breast, and I stepped out the back door. Oh wait, she said, I got stabbed here and I got shot here, or something like that. Weird, ridiculous stuff. She's like, you want to go watch me masturbate on the back bed or fuck me? And I was like, this is nuts. I started freaking out. I stepped out the back door, her fenced in backyard, and then she put her shirt back on, and I came back in, continued to try to get my stuff. And like 2 minutes later, she called the cops. And I was already having such a panic attack and my chest was hurting. So I just drove my van to the REI to get it away from her property and ran to the hospital because my heart was hurting and I was having a severe panic attack. And I also wanted to make it somewhere where I could make a YouTube video and call 911 dispatch, the Sheriff's Department of Santa Cruz County, because she's at 2604 17th Avenue, Santa Cruz. So, anyway, I told 911 what had happened and how she threatened me and tried to talk about this stuff. And, I was just trying to leave, and I put a deposit down. I was trying to pay rent, and she went nuts on me. I mean, every time someone calls the cops on you guys, you need to distance yourself from the situation if you're not, and film the situation if you're not already filming it, because this is what happens when you don't film situations like this. And call the cops, tell 911 your side of the story so they know that you're not violent, dangerous, you're not, tell them you don't have weapons on you. If you just explain the situation, and so the cops don't show up and try to like beat you up or whatever. So that's what I was taught. So anyway, the next bit of this video is going to go into who Carole Anderson is and what investigating I've done on her Facebook since I ended up getting out of jail on these ridiculous charges, which she basically said I hit her in the head with moving box, and I threatened to stab her, and I was literally in my pajamas. I just woke up. I wasn't thinking this was all going to happen. But anyway, here we go. So this was her old Facebook stuff. Her stuff has changed. She lives in Santa Cruz. She has like 2K friends. I have no idea why. And then this is September 18th, a couple of weeks after the incident happened. Had to go to the courthouse today to continue the restraining order against the guy that beat me up. And there was no physical evidence of me even assaulting her in any way. So I had to get a little high before entering a government building. Sometimes doing it right under their noses is the only way of not getting caught. Although it's legal for me to smoke at the beach and park, but somehow I don't think so here. See restraining order paperwork, going to the courthouse. Carole Anderson stole my chess set. I had it valued at over $4,000. She sold it for $30 on Facebook Marketplace. You know, she actually sold it to my friend who was a witness, Cindy Bogart from Amsterdam. You'll see that later on in the video with the district attorney. I go and try to say that I want to press charges on Carole Anderson for making up lies to the cops and stealing my stuff and selling it. But here she is on her Facebook Marketplace. Does anybody know the name of this huge chess set? She doesn't even know what it is. Here it is in the back of her car. And this is actually the receipt from the pawn shop when I first originally bought it. There it is again in the back seat of her car. Just, it's really sad. And then here's her friends. Where did you get this, Carole? The name, the castle, the night. The guy that beat me up left it here. I wasn't able to open it, but it only took me a minute to put in the code 666, and I opened it. Wow, think of that. This devil woman actually came up with 666 when I couldn't even remember it. I mean, how ironic. I mean, she's literally possessed by demons. And then here's Dale Booth again. Possession's 9/10 of the law. So he's just like, keep these, basically steal these things. Keep them. Don't turn them in. I mean, if she's the innocent one victim, you would think you would turn in the person's stuff. But here's talking to Dale Booth again. That's her son, the restraining order that she broke. And I got beat up by a homeless guy the other day. He was unloading a bunch of stuff in my driveway, and when he started beating me up, I called the police, and he left a few things behind, and that was one of them. And then down below in this picture is my gardening bench. And I really miss that gardening bench, but it says, does anyone have any idea what this is? It was folded up, and I opened it now, and I can't close it. See? And then this is some of the stuff that she was selling of mine on Facebook Marketplace, which I'll tell you the truth. All of these items, except for the freezer and the 3 at the top and the stuffed bear, were mine, that I actually allowed her to sell as a deposit on the rent. And then there's my camel hunting suit. I'm really gonna miss that. There's my gardening bench. And then she just posts the most awful divisive stuff on her Facebook, like making fun of Trump getting shot, and then here she is driving and smoking weed, me leaving the sheriff's department, and they told me I cannot serve the guy that beat me up because they don't have an address. And then here she is carrying marijuana into a government building, the law library. I mean, that is illegal. You can't just take marijuana into any government buildings. And then here she is at the courthouse again, smoking. And then here she is, me arriving at the pot shop and then getting home with my weed, still smoking and driving. And then here she is. First one is driving to see someone smoking weed, and then she's taking a video of herself smoking weed on the way back. And then I will go through this in one day. That was her problem. She smokes so much weed and she's paranoid and out of her mind, like she's on some kind of crazy drugs. I mean, some people literally, smoke so much weed, they literally lose it. I mean, some people should not smoke weed at all, like West and Mickey. I mean, they get strung out, they turn into some kind of demon, and they're paranoid, and they are just like, it's almost like they're possessed. And this is why she's back on her rent 2 months, because she smokes really, really expensive weed from the pot shops. And then here she is making fun of Kamala Harris, sexual innuendo. And then here's her fighting with her neighbors. The guy's boat who's in my driveway just called me and said he would give me half a pound of weed, so I accepted that. Now the boat doesn't have to go away, but I'm still enemies with my neighbors, and I'm going to return the wheelchair that my 300-pound dad could have fit in and leave it in their driveway. And then this is her friend saying, and also remember, they're all offering you an olive branch to try to make some peace. Otherwise, it wouldn't be such a great volume of marijuana, he means. So these plants are your price. The guy with my boat said he's not really friends with my neighbors, but I don't believe that. I think of putting up fake cameras, so maybe they'll stop. See, paranoia. And then that asshole that ran over my pots just came by and yelled at me for no reason. He said I destroyed his private property by stapling my sign to his fence. I said I'd be more than happy to fill it in and fix it, and I parked my car so he couldn't get his friend's boat out until he paid $100. So holding a boat hostage, I mean, just nasty stuff. He said he gave me the wheelchair, but the 300-pound dad could have fit in it. I offered to give it back, and he said no, he didn't want it back. All he wanted was $100. So he said he was going to wait for her to be gone, and then they would tow the boat. And she said, I'm not planning on leaving. I'll have the boat towed. So basically, letting another person's possessions get stolen from someone. I mean, basically, guys, some people might do this as a plot to, hey, someone's trying to get out and somebody doesn't want them in their house. They moved in, they're paying rent. Hey, call the cops, make up some lie. You steal all their stuff, they go to jail, you sell it online. I mean, and this is not the only time that's happened to me. It also happened up in Redding, California, with a lady named Teresa Blangia at 3251 School Street, Redding, California. And the set of circumstances is even worse than what happened here, because she held me hostage for almost a year while I was trying to go to court on these ridiculous charges, and forced me to have sex with her. But when I was trying to leave, then I was trying to escape and run in and out of her house while she was gone, and then she comes back and attacks me. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching this video, and be sure to watch more Be Human period videos. That's BEHUMANPERIOD. And if you can help, reach out to my mom at JOHNNAANDERSON 8 as in the number 8, 2 as in the number 2 at gmail.com. That's her email address. And you can also, she's taking over my Be Human period email address as well, because I don't know how much I'm going to be around longer because of what's happening to me. So anyway, thanks for watching. God bless.